What's up, YouTube? So, buddy on YouTube requested this video. Gonna talk a little bit about tubular K members and tube front ends. Really, it could be for any car, but this particular is Fox body oriented. But we've done them on a couple different cars. Hacked the front ends off. Either had a place do it. I do all my own stuff, but I'm talking buddy of mine, friends of mine, buddies' cars, things like that. Uh, One was a S197 body car. Car was relatively new at the time. Didn't realize that was like one of 20 made. And we took a sawzall to the front and cut it off. But gonna get in on it. So, is it worth doing the tube front of a car? And it really depends on what you're doing with the car. If you got a car that, I'm trying to place the camera down, bear with me for a minute, see if I can do something with this. If you got a car you want to run in a street class, then it might not be worth it to tube the front end. Some of the street classes don't allow it. Not like you can't pull weight out of the car anywhere else, but they want the factory from the strut towers forward. Some classes allow it, where it has to have the factory frame rails from the strut towers back. There's a lot of different rules in different classes, so before you go hacking your front end off, whatever class you desire to race in, make sure that you're allowed to use a tube front end if that's something that you plan on doing. There's a lot of misconceptions on weight with these. It depends on the bars you use. The car that my phone is resting on right now is my green Mustang. I used 1-inch bar for the whole thing. There's no rules against it. We had it laying around. My friend actually bought it for his car, and he used to keep some tubes and stuff in stock. He had a little westward bender over there, and we were talking about doing it to this. Something I kind of wanted to do at the time. And then I had an unfortunate event happen where the car had a fire. And when I say a fire, I mean it was probably 6-foot high flames. Fender got torched. Luck, thank God, I was able to get a hose and get it out. Because the car actually probably wouldn't be here otherwise. It was bad. But it was in that moment after I assessed the damage and all, I decided to just pull the front end off the car and hack the whole thing off. So that's what I did, and I started making a tube front end. So I'll show you what I did. This is what we got. It's a little ugly. I plated it here. This is all with a flux core welder, so plated it here, welded my bars, bent them. It goes all the way into the bumper cover, and it runs across. And then right there, that's where my radiator mounts up to. And my fender is built to this. So it's really nothing fancy. It's a pretty simple, basic setup. Tube front end. I use aluminum radiator, and I had tabs welded, little fold tabs that kind of 90-degree bend in them, or fold if you will, and mounted it. I mount the radiator just on the side to that frame rail. simple, it works. My radiator's moved a little bit more forward, so it gives me more clearance with the fender exits and stuff. Granted, at the time I didn't have those. It improves room. Like, you got way more room with a tube front end. Honestly, I all my cars basically they end up like this. The black car that one I did a little different. I used 1.5" for the main hoop, and then I used 1" from the top of the strut tower down to the main hoop. That car's got stuff all over the hood, so I can't show you that one right now. But probably peek you in through the fender, I guess. I don't know how good it'll turn out, but let's see. That's the main hoop there. Runs into the bumper, around, and then 1" bar. This one I use gas on, so the welds are a little cleaner. I still got to make tabs for the fenders and stuff to bolt to, but they'll actually bolt. You can see my mark where I got to put a tab for the fender to bolt up. But so it's just going to be a straight little piece of metal with a hole drilled in it, and the fender will bolt to it. Again, simple, it works, and it's light. It takes some weight right off the nose. Some people say, well, what is that, 10 pounds? That metal's all cut up, it's got holes in it, and it's more than you think. It's about 30 to 35 pounds, depending on the year of the car. Like these, they had solid aprons in the sides here, where the newer cars were cut out for the air box and whatever other crap they put on the driver's side. It's roughly 30 to 35 pounds. I had somebody argue that point with me a couple of years ago. They said, "I ain't no way that's that much weight without the bumper and, you know, just the apron itself." And I had one out back. I grabbed the whole apron, laid it on a scale, and I said, "There you go." I think it was 30 pounds. "Yeah, but you're adding weight with the bar." If you knew how much the bar weighed, I think this front end, when I was done with it, was, I want to say, 3 to 5 pounds. The 1" bar. This one's a little bit heavier because it's 1 5/8. That tubing don't weigh much. You're talking 10 pounds here. Maybe. So it's quite an increase. You can lose roughly 30 pounds. Depends how you do it. Some of these other kits, they have hardware where the front bolts to it and all this stuff. Mine are simple. It's one straight bar that's bent for a hoop, and then 2 top bars to hold it up. That's pretty much it. And then whatever to mount your fender bolts. So like I said, that's, if you include the front bumper, you're talking, I mean, you want to get down and be petty about it, you could say the front bumper, the sway bar, the front apron, all the crap that's attached to the front apron, you know, water jugs and things of that nature. You could probably, I'll say, anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds, depending on the year of the car. The older cars, like a 79 to 86, they had steel front bumpers. That bumper's 40 pounds with the bumper shocks. I weighed them. Bumper itself's 30. The shocks are 10 for both shocks. So that's 40 pounds. And then you got an apron there. That's another 30, 40 pounds. Say 35, we'll split it. So you're talking, simple math, 75 pounds. Right there, and that's with nothing else, and then your whatever else is tied into it. So sway bars 15 pounds, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, it's roughly 90 to 100 pounds when you get rid of all that stuff. K-members, moving on to that. The K-member itself isn't a huge weight loss like people think. I used to always want a K-member. Now I have one in almost every car. It was a really big deal when I got a K-member. Believe it or not, the A-arms and the coilovers are the biggest weight savings. The factory springs in the front are heavy. Your struts are what they are. You're using the same strut essentially. Unless you go with like an aluminum bodied one, then you'll lose some weight there, like a Viking. You know, as far as the actual K-member goes, you're probably losing maybe 10 pounds off the K-member. The coilovers and the A-arms, you're losing probably 60 pounds, believe it or not. The A-arms are bulky, they're heavy, they have these big bushings in them, factory, where the new ones, they're like that big. Well, that stuff adds up. So a K-member with the A-arms, the coilovers, if you do the whole shebang, you can lose roughly anywhere from 75 to 100 pounds. Depends if you get what K-member you get. I use UPR in all my stuff. Never had a problem. I like their products. Both cars here have UPR in them right now. The mild steel ones actually aren't too much heavier than the chromoly ones, so don't let that deter you if your budget only allows for a mild steel one. I had one in my my yellow Fairmont wagon that I had a few years ago. I bought it for that. It was a mod setup. I planned on putting a Coyote in that car, and just a project that I ended up scratching. So, as far as the K-member and the A-arms go, you can lose quite a bit. If it's just the K-member, you're keeping the stock control arms and all. Other than some header clearance and things, there's really no reason to even change it. You're better off doing the opposite with tubular control arms and coilovers than you are just switching K-members. But I see people do it, and I don't understand why. They just do the K-member, but to each their own. For me, I like the whole thing switched and the room that it gives you. Because it does give you room. It allows you to move the motor back a little bit. You got 2 slots for the motor mounts to bolt up to. If you do use the back slot, you'll have to get your drive shaft shortened most likely. I at least had to. So as far as weight goes, just right there you have anywhere from 150 to 200 pounds. And that's how you get these cars down light pretty quick. I mean, there's a lot of weight in these cars they have potential to get light really quick. I don't think we need the light on, but you can see I got the tubular control arms, coilovers, K-members in there. This car also has the aerospace brakes on it. It's just something I always wanted, necessarily for weight. I mainly did that just because I always wanted the little aerospace hub to pop through the wheel. I always liked how that looked. Instead of running a center cab, you just let the little aerospace thing go through the wheel. So, might say, well, that's a lot of money to spend on a pair of brakes just to have the hub show through, but I like that look. So, something I always wanted and decided, screw it, I'll buy it. So this car has full aerospace brakes on it. Both cars actually do. Both Mustangs have full aerospace brakes front and back. And that is, they are, I mean, they're race brakes. They're light. They're nice. They're not, not like they're heavy or nothing. This is the black Mustang. Painted on pink because I'm doing a black and pink theme with this car. It's got the pink roll bar and stuff in it, so I don't think I ever showed you guys too much of this one. This car's got a lot of crap done to it. Race column, all that. Glass doors. A lot of crap in there. Mini tubbed, whole 9. So that's pretty much it on that. There's a lot of different K-member companies. You got Team Z, AJE, you know, list goes on. Maximum Motorsports, some people like their stuff. Their stuff to me is a little on the heavy side. Maybe if you're road racing it might be good, but... And the whole misconception about street driving a tubular K-member is exactly that. It's a misconception. I basically daily drove this green Mustang. I drove it a lot, and I never had a problem. They don't crack. They don't have issues where stuff breaks. Never had an issue with a K-member. So, there you guys have it. Hopefully this helps you make a decision. If you're thinking about doing, you know, tube front end, K-member, whatever. I'm all for that stuff. I will tell you, yes, do it. Get it done. Makes the car way nicer, even if it's just to work on it, even. It's just the room that you have, it's like opening the engine bay up. Makes it nice. So I'm all for it. Then you get weight off the front of the car, which can be good and bad. That's a whole nother subject though. So there you guys have it. We'll end it there. I think I made enough long videos. This one's already almost 20 minutes, so try to keep it under 20. If you guys got anything else you want to see, leave a comment below. Ask. Try to make it. If I know about it, I'll tell you about it. So, like, comment, subscribe if you will. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around.